you believe in love at first sight? Okay, so I'm just going to say this and like, I feel like I really need to tell this story. So, again, I've had 2 relationships. Both were really nice guys. One of them is more of an asshole than the other, but more or less they're nice, okay? So, the first relationship that I was in, he was a musician. He makes incredible music still, and I wish him really the best if he's watching this, honestly. He knows who he is. And just a very kind person, and we were always together. So, one day, we went to an open mic night because he loved to sing at these open mic nights just for practice, and his friends were there. So we went. I was on spring break, and so I brought my friend. I'm going to call her Anna. And my boyfriend at the time, I'm going to call him Sam. So, me and Sam went to this restaurant. It wasn't really a restaurant. It was more so like a restaurant, bar, concert, stadium, whatever, in Maryland. And Anna was there as well. We were sitting at a table, and my most recent ex-boyfriend, so again, I have 2, Sam, and I'm going to call him Fabio. Sam and Fabio. Okay, get that straight, guys. Fabio walks in, and I look straight at Fabio. It was as if everything in the room just stopped, and I was like mesmerized by this guy. I don't know what it was. He had like a belt, you know those like clip things that you use sometimes on water bottles? He had one on his belt loop, and he was like really smiling, and I loved that. I think I'm really attracted to people who smile, smiling all the time. He wasn't stopping, and I just felt like, granted, although I was with my ex, I was like, hey, Anna, like, who the fuck is that? I'm obsessed with him. And she was like, oh my god, I don't know, like, he's so cute. So she turns to the girl next to her, and that was apparently his best friend, and she was like, oh, that's Fabio, like, he's such a nice guy. And I was like, yeah, I really like him. And I feel like from that point forward, even though Sam was sitting right next to me, he couldn't hear the conversation, but whatever. From that point forward, I was like, I love him. And it was just looks. So after me and Sam ended up breaking up during the summer, somehow me and Fabio ended up talking, and I fell really in love with him. We got into a relationship and all of that. And I'd realized I was so obsessed with the way he looked that I was kind of ignoring the blatant issues with him. And he was, I think, doing the same with me. And I think we were both quite stuck in an infatuation stage. Although I still love him to death, I would always be there for him. I definitely think it was lust. So to answer your question, I thought I was in love with him. I was in love with the way he looked, and I think I was in love with what I was envisioning with us, you know? I was like, this could be cute, we could be a hot couple, blah, blah, blah. It was so bad, so toxic for a relationship, because it was something that kept me to him. And just, I do not think that's a thing. I really don't. And sometimes I'm a hopeless romantic, but when it comes to that, because I have been asked that question before, I truly believe you love someone when you know someone, and when you get to know someone, if you say love at first sight to anyone on the street, you are not knowing every part of their being. And I think love is understanding and knowing and feeling and seeing every single aspect of someone's emotional, psychological, like physical being, and knowing them and loving that. And if you don't know that, I could really dispute that love at first sight isn't really a thing. But again, it's definitely something that people think about after they're already in love with the person. They're like, yeah, I mean, just the way that you looked, whatever, I loved you. But were you really thinking that, or are you just saying that now because you love me? But anyway, I think it's beautiful. Comment down below if any of you guys are in relationships that started that way, because I think that's quite cool.